50% of the people agree. Okay, fine.
Right. It was I forgot the lady's name, but she went in on Triple X when he passed away, and she caught a lot of slack for that. But then, in the comedy world, although people may have not thought it was funny, a lot of comics agreed with her and said, "No, this is comedy. You know what I mean? There is no filter. You're going to say what you got to say." Is there a line to comics? Is there a line to you? I'll just say, I'll put you out there. But do you
Okay,
have a line that you draw?
for me, this is the line. You want to know what the line is for me?
Yep.
And I think this is the line for very many comics. The line is time. Time. Everything is funny if you give it enough time.
Mm.
I wouldn't do a 9/11 joke on 9/12.
Right.
But 3-4 years later, there's a bunch of comics with 9/11 material.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't do, whatever the thing that people are the most sensitive about that day. No, chill. It's too much. It's too much. But give it some time, because once you back up off of it and let it breathe, give it time, then people start to see, aspects of it that might actually be funny if you said it the right way. That's another thing. When you're a comic, you can make anything funny, but you got to say it the right way so people understand, oh, he's approaching it comedically.
Right.
That's the big mistake a lot of comics make. They don't have a funny angle on things, so they just say it and it comes off just rude and crude and disrespectful.
Right.
Can you tell us about a situation when you had a heckler get very hostile, or a situation that got real for you, if there was one ever?
Oh, I got the best heckle story in the world.
All right.
There's not a comic. If you have any comics on here from today on, ask them that same question. I bet you my story tops all of this.
We have a lot, so yeah, top it. Let's go.
Okay, so it's New York City. Are you familiar with the Puerto Rican Day Parade?
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's New York City. It's Puerto Rican Day Parade weekend in New York City. So Manhattan is full of Puerto Ricans.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere you go, uptown to downtown, Puerto Ricans take over the city. That night, I have a show at the comic strip on 82nd and 2nd, uptown.
Okay.
Spanish Harlem right there,
Mm-hmm.
10, 20 blocks away, right?
Yeah.
So the comic strip that night is packed, standing room only, 99.999% Puerto Ricans.
Mm.
I'm on the show. I'm excited. I'm like, yo, the room's packed. It's going to be rocking. It's a bunch of Puerto Rican chicks in the audience. I'm like, I'm going to kill. I'm going to destroy the stage, and I'm going to bag one of these chicks. And I get on stage, and to my right is a table. The stage is a little bit further off the wall. So there's actually tables at the side of the stage, like literally in your peripheral, like tables right there. This table to my left, full of Puerto Rican girls, just all Puerto Rican girls sitting there ready for the show. To my right, all Puerto Rican dudes. And they're yelling across the stage at the girls. They're like, yo, mamita, they're talking Spanish. And the girls talking Spanish back. And I'm in the middle of my set. And the dude gets up, jumps on the stage, walks across the stage behind me, gets the girl's number, and walks back across the stage and sits down.
Mm.
So the whole room is like, yo, oh. Now let me stop the story for 1 second and explain something to people. Bombing is not just your material not working. That's the biggest misconception in stand-up comedy. Bombing is losing control of the room.
Mm.
That's what bombing is.
Mm-hmm.
Bombing is if you go into a comedy club, you see all the chairs are facing the stage, right? You're at an elevated position. The lights are on you. You have a microphone in your hand. There's speakers around the room. You are clearly in control of the room. And when you lose control, that's when you bomb. So when the guy walked across the stage and walked back, the room realized, yo, he's not in control of the room. Because you couldn't do that to a comic that was, that was in control of the stage and in control of the room. So they start, oh, he just walked across your stage. What you gonna do? And I was new in the game. I was early. I didn't have like quick comebacks for people. So I just turned around like, yo, don't do that again, man. And he said, I had nothing. And he was like, man, shut the fuck up. You just mad because you bombing. And took the lemon wedge out his drink and threw it at me. And then the table full of Puerto Rican dudes was like, yo, what you want to do, Poppy? What you want to do? They started whistling, and dudes in the back started whistling like that. They was like doing some kind of a specific whistle, and dudes in the back started doing the same whistle. And I'm like, oh shit, this is about to pop off in here. So I was like, he said, you just mad because you bombing or some shit. And I kicked the lemon wedge off the stage and was like, I'm not bombing. Like, I had nothing. And they booed the shit out of me.
Oh man.
And then I walk off stage and I'm sitting in the lobby of the comedy club, and the show, like, one more comic goes on after me, show's over, and the people are walking out, and the one Puerto Rican chick I had said something to on the way in, I thought maybe I'd catch her on the way out, and I came in and she was like, "Oh no, Poppy, no."
Dang.
Did you ever get to go back and redeem yourself in that joint?
No. Every time I get on stage, it's like now I'm fully prepared to handle anything that happens on stage. I never saw that guy again, but I mean, I'm prepared now.
Word.
I knew that night taught me that I have to be prepared to handle any and everything that can happen in a room at any time.
Absolutely. I gotta ask you this, man, because we got a couple comments on have had them on in the past, got a couple on in the future, got one in a couple hours to be exact. Couple comics online. I'm not gonna lie. DL Hughley, right?
Yeah.
So we look at DL Hughley online. He's very respected in the comedy game. He's funny as hell, been funny for 2 decades now. But when he does shit online, it kind of makes us feel like he works for the Democratic Party. Can you help us kind of
does stuff like what?
Pro Biden, like a motherfucker. What else would I say? It just seems like anything that goes against Republican, and I don't really play political sides, but it just seems like certain people kind of just go certain directions. And I may be wrong, and I want you to help me clarify me if I am wrong. But I just seem like
I think at this point, I don't know exactly what he's saying, but I think at this point, it's just anybody but Trump. And if Biden's the front runner, let's make sure that it's him.
Okay.
Maybe that's how he's looking at it. Me, myself, personally, when it comes to politics, I believe left wing, right wing, same bird.
Facts.
People act like, and here's where Tony Rock can potentially get in trouble. People act like the Democratic presidents have done so much for black people.
Right.
People act like whenever there was a Democratic president, those 4 years, black people lived in utopia, and then a Republican came in and put us back in the projects. Or people act like a Democrat president came in and niggas wasn't getting shot in the street, wasn't going to jail at alarming rates, and there was music appreciation back in schools, and AIDS wasn't running rampant in our neighborhoods, and drugs wasn't being pushed into our neighborhoods, and guns wasn't being distributed all over and then a Republican president came in and put it all back.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the change on the Democrat presidents? When did it get like exponentially better for the black man under a Democratic president?
I'm glad. You know what? I appreciate you saying that, brother, because this is kind of where I'm leading to. Because you're not the only one to think like that. We obviously think the same way. Black folk think on the same kill, but it seems like when a brother or a sister gets to a certain level in Hollywood or fame, those things get forgotten a little bit, and it's just like, no, let's just keep it here and not give all information. Let's just give some information. Am I right to say that?
Absolutely.
Word.
Absolutely. I don't that's why I don't play politics, man. It's like, it's a system. Politics is a system that the average working man doesn't even really grasp.
Yep.
It's something that we are told that this is how it works, but we don't really know the intricate workings of it. And there's a reason for that. Because as long as the working man could go along to his 9 to 5 and work his 8 hours and come home and think he has a say in something much bigger, he'll go along. I personally don't believe in politics. I don't believe that there's a bunch of people that's going to line up and vote, and that the person that got the most votes, okay, no. If it was that easy, it wouldn't be no electoral college, and you got to win this state, and it would just be the most numbers wins.
Fact.
Yeah, definitely makes a lot of sense.
They convoluted so that at the end of the day you could go, oh no, he won the popular vote, but he didn't win the. Nah, nigga, no.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Advice from Chris Rock. Did he give you any advice before? He was in the game, and then you kind of came after him. What did he kind of tell you? What advice did he give you how to maneuver in the game, a comedy?
A lot of our conversations are just, how to be a good. Because this is what my dad was this way, so I know that's where it comes from. A lot of the conversations I had with my dad wasn't about the world; it was just about being a good person. So a lot of our conversations are personal. It's not like, here's how you operate in Hollywood or how you operate in the business. It was just more so how you operate as a person.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a good person, then good things happen to you. If you work hard, you're respectful. You don't hate on the next man. You don't